Ladies and gentlemen, a silence has fallen over the world of distance running. A silence not born of awe, but of heartbreak. A silence that echoes with disbelief, disappointment, and a quiet reckoning with truth. For Ruth Chepngetich, the Queen of the Roads, the world record holder in the women's marathon, the pride of Kenya, now finds herself standing at the edge of a precipice. Not atop a podium, but beneath a cloud. Not cheered by the world, but questioned by it. The Athletics Integrity Unit, the body entrusted with the sacred task of preserving fairness in sport, has delivered its statement. Ruth Chepngetich, the woman who once shattered expectations and records with equal ease, has tested positive for hydrochlorothiazide, known more commonly as HCTZ. This substance, while not a performance enhancer in the traditional sense, is a diuretic. A drug used medically to treat fluid retention and high blood pressure. But in the world of athletics, it's something more insidious. It's a masking agent, a chemical veil that can conceal the use of banned performance-enhancing drugs. The date of that fateful sample: March 14. The implications: deep, troubling, and uncertain. In the weeks that followed, a decision had to be made. The Athletics Integrity Unit, operating under the principles of the World Anti-Doping Code, did not impose an immediate mandatory suspension. Because in cases involving masking agents, the rules allow for discretion. The athlete may continue until further investigation, unless they choose otherwise. And on April 19, Ruth Chepngetich chose. She stepped back. She accepted a voluntary provisional suspension while the investigation unfolded. A choice that does not confirm guilt, but one that cannot be ignored. It is a moment that tears through the heart of every true fan of the sport. Because Ruth Chepngetich was not just fast, she was transcendent. A figure of almost mythical stamina. A force that defied the limits of fatigue. The woman who brought fire to the flat courses and made the marathon a theater of poetry and pain. Her record in the women's marathon stands as one of the greatest performances in the history of long-distance running. She did not just win, she dominated. She conquered. She danced on the edge of human endurance and made it look like grace. But now, the medal is tarnished. The applause has turned into whispers. And the glow of her glory has dimmed beneath the weight of suspicion. Let us be clear, she has not yet been declared guilty. This is a provisional suspension. The investigation is ongoing. There is a process, a method, a fair and thorough examination underway. But optics matter. And when an athlete chooses to step away voluntarily, it sends tremors through the landscape. Because athletes who believe in their innocence often fight. They scream. They demand transparency. They sprint toward exoneration. Voluntary withdrawal, even if advised by counsel or meant as a sign of cooperation, can also be interpreted as retreat. A pause, yes. But to many, a confession in shadow. What does this mean for the sport? For one, it shatters confidence in the purity of performance. In a world where milliseconds matter, the difference between natural brilliance and chemical advantage becomes more than a technical detail, it becomes the soul of the sport. Fans are tired. Tired of watching heroes crumble. Tired of medals stripped. Tired of feeling betrayed by those they once celebrated. Kenya, in particular, now faces a deeper wound. For a nation that has long held marathon greatness as its birthright, every doping case stings like salt in the soil. The world knows Kenya for its runners, its warriors of the wind, its queens and kings of the hills. When one falls, the shadow falls on all. Fair or not, it is the burden of greatness. But we must also remind ourselves of something else. Justice is not served through assumption. Truth is not handed down in the court of public opinion. Ruth Chepngetich deserves her investigation. She deserves every opportunity to explain, to defend, to prove what she believes to be true. Yet the damage, at least to perception, is already done. Sponsorships will hesitate. Organizers will reconsider. Trust, once broken, takes years to rebuild. The Athletics Integrity Unit has handled this case with transparency. Brett Clothier, its head, made the facts plain. There was no mandatory suspension. The athlete was informed, and she voluntarily stepped aside. Such decisions are not made lightly. They ripple through careers, through communities, through continents. For the athletes who lined up behind Chepngetich in races past, there are questions. For those who aspire to the world stage, there is unease. And for those who believe in clean sport, there is renewed urgency. Let this be a reminder. Excellence must not come at the cost of ethics. Greatness without integrity is a hollow crown. Records mean little if the foundation they rest on is crumbling. To young athletes watching this unfold, hear this: your talent is not enough. Your dreams must be clean. Let no coach, no sponsor, no shadowy figure tell you otherwise. Because one tainted victory is not worth a lifetime of doubt. And to the world of athletics, we must confront this moment not with despair, but with resolve. Doping control is not a punishment, it is a protection. It exists to honor those who rise through effort alone, who sweat in silence, who bleed with no shortcuts. If Ruth Chepngetich is found innocent, she deserves restoration, not resentment. But if she is found guilty, she must face the consequences. In either case, the truth must be pursued without fear, favor, or hesitation. Because this sport deserves better. The fans deserve better. The clean athletes who finish fourth because someone cheated their way to third deserve better. So let the investigation continue. Let science do its work. Let fairness be the compass. And let no record, no reputation, no legend be above the law of the sport. Ruth Chepngetich's legacy now hangs in the balance, not on a stopwatch, but in the scale of justice. And until that balance is tipped, the world waits, the road quiet, the race suspended.